Happy Halloween, everybody! Aloha! Welcome to Cinelena Reviews, and today we will be reviewing episode 5 of Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. Now, this episode I could sort of see as a side episode, but until we get to the second half of this episode, it blew me away of exactly what happened, and I was very surprised. This episode will be in the style of a podcast, so if you want to minimize my videos while listening to me while doing something else, that's totally fine. I won't be offended. Be forewarned that a spoiler alert is now in effect. This episode starts where we meet the son of Sekotsu, Jakotsumaru, and we discover that Moroha was the one that defeated Jakotsumaru's father. The girls return back to the feudal era and they meet up with the demon slayers and Kaede. Towa has realized with Roodhead defeated, there's no chance for her to go back into the modern world. So that's kind of a bummer for Towa, because she thought she could just be able to go back and forth, but since Roodhead is no longer alive, there's no chance for her to return back. From there we meet a very brief person, and I know she's going to play a big role later in the series. Her name is Lady Kyuyuki, and we'll just get, and I don't have anything on her right now, so we might just get into it later. Back into the village, Towa, Setsuna meet up with Kohaku, and Kohaku's reading this book, and in a nutshell, he says Mount Musubi is the last location of where the Butterfly of Dreams could be. And the son of Murokun Sango, his name is slipping my head right now because we haven't seen so much of him, so that's why his name's not sticking to me. He says he wants to accompany them, but Kohaku told him no, you have to, you have to work on the Hiraikos first. And I like how we get this little recap of going back into Inuyasha, the final act, where the episode was Sango based, and when she used the Hiraikos, this demon clenched his jaw on the Hiraikos, and I really like this episode. For those that are new to the whole Inuyasha universe, because I know there's a couple of people that don't know what's going on, the Hiraikos is made out of demon bones, and I just think it's a really brilliant weapon, and it's, as you've seen, it's the shape of a boomerang and it acts as a boomerang, and you can apply to different things on the Hiraikos to make it more effective. We then meet a couple of people with Moroha. So the guy at the beginning of the opening with Takechiyo we know as Jubei, and Jubei is a corpse dealer, and he's the one working with Moroha. Apparently she has a debt to pay to this guy. And when Jubei says a talking flea, we get the reintroduction of Myoga. Myoga, the best way to describe him is he's like an informant. For those that have seen Inuyasha in the past, you would see Myoga come in, and Myoga, he's an informant. He'll give you great information about the demons. He's also been with Inuyasha's father for such a long period of time, so anytime Myoga comes in, he'll give you good information, and a good majority of the time it's mostly related to Inuyasha's father. So Jubei was talking to Moroha about the Four Perils along with Myoga, and they go to this castle. And what the Four Perils are is they're cross mainland during different seasons, and they're controlled by Kirinmaru. Setsuna and Towa go with the demon slayers to this village, and this is where they notice this body is on the ground, but he has no bones whatsoever. He's just flabby, there's no bone structure. This is where they said that they would take on this job. Setsuna and Towa wait at the river at night to see if there's any superstitions that relate to the events that occurred. And lo and behold, they see a child use his fan, and he is getting almost attacked by wolves, but he uses his fan and sweeps in the air, and bones just come right out of the wolf's mouth and put it in the cart. And the story tells that Jakotsumaru is after the one who defeated his father, Takotsu, and that was Moroha. But the thing is with Moroha, she doesn't remember taking out this demon. She has no remembrance of it. But she knows that she was the one that took the red rainbow pearl from him. See, I thought Moroha was born with it. I thought she had it in her eye, just like Setsuna and Towa. But no, that's not the case. Okay, so the Four Perils are obviously going to have some kind of connection. Right into the castle, the girls are just kind of talking on what their game plan is, and this is where we see Miyoga again, and Towa and Setsuna tell Miyoga everything that the Tree of Ages were telling them about Kirinmaru. Now Miyoga, I can't say he doubts that's Kirinmaru. It's more so like he couldn't believe it. Miyoga's reaction was more, it's hard for me to believe that that would be Kirinmaru. And Setsuna was the one that brought up if Kirinmaru emerges, then Sesshomaru would appear. And Towa's still kind of a little hesitant on wanting to fight her father, even though he was never there from the start with them. And we get kind of a surprise that Miyoga said that those two girls are the daughters of Sesshomaru. See, Miyoga didn't know this. And in a way, I'm kind of not surprised, kind of surprised. I'm more so not surprised because Sesshomaru is not one to like go about and say that he has daughters. But I figured with as sneaky and as sly as Miyoga is, he would have seen it himself. But that's not the way that we're gonna go. The three demon girls meet up with Jakotsumaru, and Takotsu emerges, and he's all red and he's just only bones, and he's after Moroha. And this is where Moroha pulls out the shell that she had from before, and she opens it up, and inside is the red rainbow pearl, but also I thought was lipstick. I thought it would be the same structure and the same gift that Inuyasha gave to Kikyo to be like the lip coloring, but it's actually blood. So Miyoga, breaking the fourth wall, talks to us and said that this gift was from the great dog demon to give to his wife, Lady Izayoi. So Izayoi is the mother of Inuyasha, and that's Moroha's grandmother. Miyoga says when the blood touches her lips, his memories are revived by her blood. So I'm still kind of, what is happening right now? I guess the best way to say it is I'm still kind of understanding this rogue. I'm still kind of understanding what this is or how this occurs on Moroha. Hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about that later, because that was very brief. That feels like we were only just scratching the surface. But I was very in awe when Moroha let out two attacks that were very, very familiar to Inuyasha before he wielded the Tetsaiga. She let out the Iron Reaver Soul Stealer move and Blaze of Blood. Now I was cheering for joy. I was leaping for joy. I was glad a little bit of Inuyasha's attacks came out, and from the great dog demon, that all came out too. So that explains why last week when we saw the preview, Moroha's eyes were kind of like Inuyasha. So I think with Moroha being only a quarter demon, she can't lose herself to be a demon like Inuyasha could in the past. I don't think we'll be able to see that with Moroha. And I think it's funny that before she applied the coloring on her lips, she told Setsuna and Towa that she's going to be knocked out for the entire day. And when she used those two attacks, she didn't last very long. It's like boom, attack, boom, attack. Okay, I'm gonna be knocked out now. I thought that was funny as heck. Sekotsu is gone, and Moroha from before, when she was Beniyasha, she defeated Jakotsumaru. And when Towa asked Setsuna before Towa attacked to destroy the demon, she was saying a few words. And Towa asked what were those words. And Setsuna said, it was just something I heard from a monk a while back. And that's where we see Moroku. So Moroku said those words to Setsuna just before he walked away. So really, that's kind of the end of episode 5. The next episode, there was subtitle issues, so I couldn't really tell you what was happening. But all I can say is Towa meets somebody who was very familiar in the modern world, and this guy in front of her in the feudal world looks just like the guy, with the exception that he's bald. And we're going to be dealing a lot with demon cats. So, yeah, I can't wait to see how Moroha is going to react to demon cats. This episode was a fun episode just to kind of give a break of what has been going on with everything and everybody. But we were able to get to the points on what's going to be important later in the future. For example, the Four Perils. So Towa defeated Takotsu, who was one of the Four Perils, and they were controlled by Kirimaru. And Myoga, again, he just kind of has like a conflict of what Kirimaru is and what Towa and Setsuna were saying from the Tree of Ages. I felt like it was an okay episode. This wasn't really my favorite, but it was just kind of nice just to get a break from everything. So what do you guys think of Yashahime episode 5? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for stopping in and taking a listen at my review. Like this video, subscribe to Cinelena Reviews, help me make it grow. I want to see something come out of this. If you want to be notified for personal videos or all of my content, just click that bell down below. Thanks so much, and we will see you guys on another day, and see you guys next week for episode 6 of Yashahime. Our simplest prevention is our biggest protection. Take care of yourselves and others as you practice social distancing, washing hands, and staying at home. Let's get better by starting to make our world better to reduce the spread of COVID-19. See you later on another day.